Microphone check 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. Microphone check 1 2. 1 2 1 2. Know what it is? Matter of fact, back in action. Got another piece of Moldavite. It's been a while. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have a video on Seraphinite and Moldavite. Gonna have a video on emotions coming soon. Matter of fact, Patreon fam, all the patrons on Patreon. I'm gonna have something for y'all coming soon as well. Again, just been working on myself, making sure I'm applying all the things that, I'm learning and speaking on as well, Gotta make sure I'm applying these things in my universe. All right, you know who I am. Say it loud and clear. What's up, Tyler 96? You know who I am. Soulful Beauty. Baby Bella. What's up? In fact, right now, we're going into the Christmas energies, As a matter of fact, realizing, this realm is just like some Doctor Strange type of vibes, As much as you may see, human beings in the flesh and things like this, there are energy signatures that lie underneath. Or energies, or should I say entities, or energetic entities, however you want to say it, that exist, only to the mind's eye, like only to our, clairvoyant abilities, Where you see a human, but then if you look with your first eye, you might see like all kind of entities attached to that being, And that's not to say nobody better than the next or nothing like that, but, just understanding, what's going on right now and, raising our vibration. As a matter of fact, when I speak on raising your vibration, that doesn't mean to not embrace, lower vibrational energies or and what I mean by this, but like lower vibrational feelings and emotions, when they come up, like anger, sadness, grief, disappointment, in some cases you gotta embrace your fear, your fear, all these things exist for the positive emotions to exist. So, the negative, goes with the positive. So when I say be in a high vibrational state, that's just most of your moment, but you can't fake it, like that fake it till you make it. That's not a great phrase to embody when it comes to dealing with your feelings and your emotions, because you could become emotionally numb. And you don't want to do that, because if you're emotionally numb, then your higher self won't be able to align you with your destiny if you're acting like you're happy in a situation that you're really sad in. The universe is going to give you more of it if you acting like you're happy with it, So, be aware to, express your feelings and energies genuinely, with this Christmas energy coming through, again, these are like portal openings. It's not for us to be fussing like, of course we go through the growth of detaching from the meaning of Christmas of how we were taught, or the meaning of these holidays of how we was taught, and then, embracing them, basically doing alchemy to it, embracing these holidays on a level that, the ancestors embraced these holidays, knowing that it wasn't about, just buying gifts and stuff like that. It was about understanding the energy of death and rebirth, of going through the death and rebirth process and going through hibernation, it's the winter time, Matter of fact, January 1st is not the real New Year's, as much as we're going to be calling it, 2020 and January 1st, New Year's don't start till April, hence why I call it April Fools. And April in Latin, if I'm not mistaken, means to open, like the opening or the open door, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me. It's either to open or hinge in Latin. But, basically like the hinge to open, like a door, what I'm saying? Like springing into action, what I'm saying? Like, this is a moment to be, more in a, you're still active, just because, the winter time means to take things slow. You still, planting your seeds, and doing what you do, but just it's not having the need to feel like you got to be overactive, like being patient, and allowing things to come to you instead of trying to chase everything down. Because as you try to chase things, again, universal law that everything has poles. So if you go on one side of the pole, you're creating the other side. So if you are being a chaser, then you're going to create something to run away from you. So, you don't want to have to chase anything. You don't want to be a paper chaser, because then then the paper going to start running from you. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to chase your companion, or the person you're trying to be in a relationship with. You ain't trying to chase them, because then you're going to create a runner, Matter of fact, a lot of us aligning, probably aligning with our soulmates, with our divine twins, twins, soulmates, whatever you want to call it. We all lining up, because that's why we're cleansing all this trauma so strongly. By cleansing this trauma, it's allowing for us to not be, so stuck. I say stuck. Like still in these states of like needing deep healing, while dealing with somebody, Now some of us, we all have like different soul contracts. Some of us may have came across our soulmates, or, aka twin flames, which they're uniquely different, but I just use both terminologies. Coming across those beings when we still working on ourselves, because it's a constant work, it's just, we at different levels of our growth, in different moments. Sometimes the trauma is still a little thick. Sometimes it, or in some cases, some people in a place where it's not as thick, but you're still constantly growing and still constantly working on yourself. There's no such thing as somebody who's done with working on themselves. If that was the case, that would be time to transition out of your bodysuit, if you're just like done. It's a constant work, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of beings connecting with their divine significant others, and matter of fact, and it'll be real intense too, you know what I'm saying? Especially if it's like your twin, because the twin, y'all reflecting energies, like y'all not exactly the same, but y'all have tendencies that are very, basically extremely similar, to the point where it's like dealing with yourself on a high level, you know what I'm saying? So, be aware of that intensity, that comes with that. It could be very intense. Hence why they talk about twins, one being a runner and one being the chaser, Again, like I was just finished talking about, but just not in the sense of like, where you chasing or running deliberately in that sense of it, but, it's like that relationship could be overwhelming, because imagine dealing with yourself like times 1,000. Like, because every moment, you know what I'm saying, like you realize now's the vibrate to the fullest. And I be having to catch myself. I'm like, bro, now's the vibrate to the fullest. I got to embrace me to the fullest, and not run away from myself to the fullest. Now, of course, just like with boxing, you know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, it's just like, I remember somebody bringing up the terminology shadow boxing with their mate. Because that's what you're going to find yourself doing with your twin too, is shadow boxing. Like, y'all going to be back and forth, bringing, being triggers towards each other, bringing up shadow aspects against one another for y'all to resolve them, you know what I'm saying? And things may get, very tense, not to the point where y'all, because again, we're learning how to embrace our anger, embrace when we may be, disliking, what somebody doing, but in a manner that's healthy, you know what I'm saying? Where you ain't putting your hands on nobody or trying to, throw your energy around in a manner where it could harm somebody, Because again, that's the whole aspect, man. What's up, y'all? I see a lot of people I know coming through here. Real 504 Biggs. Dendoro loves you. Ex-King Goddess. I saw Mr. Jazz Bandito. Miss Teja. Joy Ace. Love Day. What's up, y'all? Matter of fact, yeah, Tyler 96, fix yourself first, but again, there's no necessarily just straight up fix. Now we are getting to a place though where we're gonna, release these karmic energies fully. So let's say it like that, like we're always gonna be growing, always gonna be working on ourselves, but right now we're getting rid of this thick karmic energy. Like this karmic energy is so thick, you gotta cut it with a machete. Shout out to Mace. When he was with Big L, he had a little verse like that. It's like, we get bricks so thick, you gotta cut them with machetes. Hey, but the energy, the karmic energy could be so thick, you know what I'm saying? You could cut it with a machete, or have to cut it with a machete. But we're, releasing that thick ass karmic trauma. A lot of us dealing with past life. Matter of fact, the show The Island, if you, cause matter of fact, that's another thing too, with these Netflix series, they come out with these limited series, and the limited series on Netflix is almost just like Orson Welles. Orson Welles is an old author and writer, and he broadcasted this alien invasion on the radio. As a matter of fact, he's working with the Tavistock Institute and all these people who work to brainwash everybody. But this was back in the day. But they basically broadcast an alien invasion on the radio, but they did as if it was really happening to see how, the masses would react to it. And then after that, then they started pumping the masses with alien movies, That's when you started with E.T., Star Wars, and all this thing about life outside of us and this and that, to try to create this alien aspect. Hence, even with ancient aliens, it ain't about no ancient aliens. That's indigenous people who created, these pyramids and things like that. But they try to that maybe it was aliens, from outer space, and And which, yeah, if anything, we could say that some of us are quote unquote extraterrestrial energies to this realm. But at the same time, again, not to that degree, but yeah, the show Island, that show is a direct personification of this earthly plane, and take what resonate and leave what don't, because some people may not feel like we may be prisoners in a jailhouse, but a lot of terminologists points to this being like a jail, like a light prism. You got your chakras, it's like a light prism, and this is like your cell, the cells in your body, like a jail cell, holding or locking down your light into this physical. It's just that, again, there's no good or bad, right or wrong, what I'm saying? Like, that's why, we show love and appreciate our experience, But The Island is a limited series on Netflix, and then they had that other show I brought up. It was about the Amazon. I forgot something green something. I posted about it, but that was a limited series, because again, that's like the Orson Welles situation I was talking about, like where they put this shit out to see where you at with it, because if everybody really vibing off of it, they all right, these niggas get that they really in the matrix, what I'm saying? They starting to understand this more. But if it's not popping off like that, then they well shit, they don't get it, so we could still throw shit at them, what I'm saying, and do things in a certain manner, and that's what those limited series on Netflix is about, again, Island is Island. And they prisoners in a simulation. And look at all the analogies where they take a prisoner or some prisoners and do experiment where they put them through a simulation. I think about the movie 12 Monkeys. That's an old movie with Bruce Willis, but that's a good movie to check out. 12 Monkeys, with Bruce Willis in it. But he was a prisoner who got a chance to get off of his, containment if he went into back into the future or into the past or whatever to try to change some shit. You got the show The 100 on Netflix, where, they took the prisoners, mostly children, but the prisoners, and Earth had all this nuclear bombs set off, so it was inhabitable, so they thought, but they sent the 100, and spoiler alert, they sent the 100 down there, you know, the 100 prisoners to see if Earth was still inhabitable. But again, it's always about sending prisoners into some type of simulation or into some type of realm, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's for rehabilitation or to test out some shit, you know what I'm saying? But that analogy is always used. And then you got the little anime called Sword Art Online. I forgot which one of them, because I think it's more than one. But one of those where they go into the game, you know, it's a simulation, and you put all the gear on at your house or whatever, and then you go into the simulation. It's just like you are the characters in the game. And then as they got in the game, they realized there wasn't no log out button. Then all of a sudden, like, the creator of the game was like, hey, I bet you noticed they ain't got no log out button. And yeah, I added this. And matter of fact, and he was also like, and if you die up in this game, you die in real life. Like, and if somebody try to take your game gear, like the gear that you got on to connect to the game, if they try to take it off, that's going to kill you. So you got to play this game out. You know what I'm saying? Sounds very, very, you know, familiar. You know? But yeah. Floral League, what's up, bro? Double, we winning wellness. What's up? So extra. Why you gotta be so extra? Sharita, JD John 108, what's up? What's the name of the show? Island. I, like an I and land. LAND. And then the 100 is another one too. And the movie I was talking about is 12 Monkeys. You know? And the harder it is to find these movies, that should let you know. Again, like, as people starting to wake up, they done push a lot of these, like, you know how somebody like takes some shit and like kind of swipe this to the side and push this under the rug, you know? Like, that's what they do with a lot of movies, like the movie White Man's Burden. I bet you some of y'all never heard of that movie, White Man's Burden. Came out in the 90s, and it's with John Travolta and what's his name, Belafonte. But it was like a role reversal where white people were like poor and impoverished and like beat by the cops and all that type of shit, and the black people were the cops and you know, owning businesses and stuff like that. And again, that's back to the subconscious magic of Hollywood. Hollywood is wood from a holly tree to do magic on your subconscious. So they realize, like, when they put that shit out, they're like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? We can't have that type of subconscious programming go out. That's why all the movies, that's why they always try to resurrect these slave movies. I think I heard they're trying to redo or create like a Harriet Tubman movie right now. But then they'll make the movie Gods of Egypt, you know, with no black people in it, you know. And again, as I say this, it's not to get caught up in the race aspect. It's like a balance of everything. Like, everything is a balance. Like, you don't get caught up in the ego aspect of like what this race or that race. And at the same time, just acknowledge the truth, because the truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what we're dealing with right now. We down here because, like, everything is rising to the top. Like, it's going to get to the place where you could no longer, you know, really lie to anybody. You know, like, everything is going to show itself, you know, for what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I did a video on the Truman Show on my YouTube channel. Truman Show is definitely another example of being in the Matrix, or being, you know, in a realm like that. But oh yeah, you could disagree. You know, that's the beauty of this realm. You know, you could disagree. It's no such thing like, and maybe you don't get what I'm saying. Like, as far as like, it's a perception. You know, if you see me beating the shit out of somebody, you could be like, man, that's bad. You beating up that person. Or some people could see me as bad for beating up that person. But then if I tell you that person murdered all my family members and sold my eyeballs shut and made me watch it and cut off my penis and made me eat it, and that's why I was beating them, then, you know, you'd be like, oh shit, that's justice. You know, that's probably a good thing you whipping is that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that good and bad shit, you know, it's a perception thing, you know. you could say, oh man, going to jail was bad, man. While another person experienced jail and be like, bro, that was the best thing ever happened to me, because when I went to jail after that, bro, my life changed and I learned, to be like this and to be like that. Like, I just came across somebody's video where they talked about, bro, being in solitary confinement in jail was probably one of the best things that ever happened to him. While from the outside looking in, you like, oh no, jail is bad. One person like, oh, weed is bad. While another person smoking herb, like getting all their shit done, chilling, and doing what they gotta do. It's unique perception. Hot water bad, cold water good. That's all your perception. There ain't no such thing. It's good or bad, from that sense. Yes, there are things that are beneficial for our highest good in our soul journey and our soul destiny. Yes, there are things that's beneficial to our growth and things that may be unbeneficial. But at the end of the day, even when I say that, even the unbeneficial things come off as unbeneficial, but they still play a catalyst in pushing you towards the beneficial shit. The pressure, it hurts, it's painful, but pressure creates a diamond. So, you could say, oh, pressure is bad. The person who say pressure is bad is the lump of coal that don't turn into a diamond. And not to say that a lump of coal is anything wrong with that, But, it is what it is. But as I'm saying this is not to change your perspective. Dendero loves you, so by all means, please disagree, if you don't, understand the perspective I'm speaking on. You got to go with what you're feeling. You got to go with what you're feeling. But movie titles. If I didn't say them for you to catch it, Biggs, I was talking about The Island on Netflix. That's like a little show. And then The 100 is another show on Netflix. And then Sword Art Online is like a little anime. And then the movie though I brought up was 12 Monkeys. And then I brought up White Man's Burden and about how they didn't want to, again, they swept that under the rug through the subconscious programming, and that wasn't going to be beneficial to, because hence why they always try to make, quote unquote, black man, play a gay role where he either got to wear a dress, have a gay scene or something in order for his career to excel, like, because they want that subconscious programming, put into, beings, and to each his own on their sexual orientation as well. Again, it's a balance. Just because I'm bringing up these facts doesn't mean I hate somebody because I'm bringing up these facts, That's another thing, too, Because if a person feel butthurt, if only thing that feels butthurt is our ego. And nothing is wrong with our ego, too, as I'm saying that, like, we're not trying to, when we use the terminology ego, that, we use that terminology, but we're not killing our ego, We're connected with we're getting our ego to a place where we could understand it and integrate it with, with our experience, just not letting the ego run the show, But I never got a piece of the iolite sunstone, but I used iolite before, and that's definitely good for amplifying visualizations, tapping into the third eye and awakening activating the third eye a little more, the first eye, I should say. Yep, King Goddess is all a paradox. As a matter of fact, in dealing with the paradox, sometimes could be, harsh a lot of times, because that's what I've been dealing with. I realized that I was a being that although I created this, I was a part of the creation of this realm, like, some of y'all too. I had to do with creating this realm, but I also got to a place of when a certain cycle came around, I disliked the paradox of the situation, Hence why a lot of trauma been coming up for me lately of trying to balance my understanding of the paradox and not get mad that it's so paradoxical. Because, it's like, well, shit, I was being positive. Now you tell me to be negative. Now when I get negative, I gotta be positive. Like, yep, you gotta balance it. You gotta deal with the parity. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to speak on, again, going from the 3D realm is like being, a human, and speaking on the higher aspects. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, uh, it's all that's integrating right now, and that's why we're going through a lot of past life trauma. As a matter of fact, the island, spoiler alert, kind of, personifies getting over that trauma. You know what I'm saying? What are your thoughts on the magic mushroom? What's up, Mr. Jacory? Man, definitely something to tap into, man. The psilocybin, you either could tap into it, the mushrooms, or for ACO-DMT, it's like psilocybin, so it's almost like a mushroom type of DMT, But for ACO-DMT or mushrooms, definitely, and mushrooms help you to like peel back the layers of your ego, and really, tap into seeing how interconnected everything is, And again, this is a balanced experience we're dealing with. So just like with an overspinning crown chakra, as a matter of fact, like your crown chakra overspinning, you could always try to be in the higher realms. Like, ooh, I'm in this higher realm and that higher realm. But don't forget, you're on this earthly plane working out certain karma for a reason. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, maybe that was a part of your karma, is that you would always try to escape into the quote unquote higher realms, you know what I'm saying? Like, and not dealing with, what you signed up for in this, in this matrix. Matter of fact, another good movie, I had to rent it on YouTube, What Dreams May Come. What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams and Cuba Gooding Jr. about the afterlife. That's an accurate description of, it's not the whole explanation of it, but it's definitely got dripping a lot of sauce on the accurate depiction of, of how it looks when you transition from out of this reality, you know what I'm saying? But back to the magic mushrooms, man, definitely, again, you probably would want to tap into it while you're in nature, you know what I'm saying? Like being outside, or if you're going to be inside, like have your windows open or something, like get you some oxygen, because it's going to promote a connection with nature for sure, So definitely tapping into being outside, what else? Being outside. You could also, like with any psychedelic, like set an intention of like what you want to tap into and see, Like I used to, before my DMT trips, I used to have like a question list, like I was going to meet Santa Claus on some shit. You know what I'm saying? And also be prepared to receive the information or the answer to what you're asking, in the sense of like, some questions you may not even really want the answer to. Like the answer might be, how can I say, overwhelming, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you might ask to see what it feels like to be God, and you may get that answer, in the form of feeling it in your experience, So just be aware of like the intentions you set, the people you're around, you know what I'm saying, as you're doing it, just having awareness, intentions, what else? The caps, like the cap of the mushroom, the top part of the mushroom would be more of like a higher, you'd be probably like more in your first eye area, and then the stem probably be more of a body, feeling to it, so it's also that aspect. Matter of fact, Mr. Jacory, let me know if you if you in Baton Rouge, man. I might have to give you a holler. What's up, Miss Ebony? Black, beautiful, and brilliant. I see you. Matter of fact, check out Black, beautiful, and brilliant, her page, and then her mom's got the products, and her page is Elements of Light. They out here in Baton Rouge. Also got some of the product in Coyote Moon. Definitely check them out. Yep, Mr. Smitty, what's up? Like, it been a while since I've been in BR, Mr. Smitty. I don't know how things shaking on that end of the reality right now. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's always good for matter of fact, it made me think about that too. If y'all not familiar with the artist Cambatta, check out Cambatta, Cambatta, because you made me think about too, like when he talk about psychedelics, he said something about psychedelics expose you to the God within, but without no filter. He said it on some fly shit in a little rhyme or whatever, but but it's definitely a little reminder. But again, you want to be aware that you're experiencing a strong in-depth vibe of it, but still to remember to be grounded in your experience. Because what I realized too is, like, sometimes I would have those experiences, but I wasn't fully grounded all the way back. Like, it took a little second for me to ground myself back into reality. Because again, you're here for a reason, because even on one of my trips, matter of fact, the one where, no, not the one I died on, there's another trip where I was just kind of strongly in there, and I just asked Source if I could stay. I'm like, bro, look, how about I stay here? But that it's not what I signed up for. I signed up to, to be in this simulation. So, So yeah, definitely be aware of that aspect, making sure you ground yourself, coming back in, because imagine, that's where priests were created, in the first place, because, if everybody was taking the psychedelic mushroom at all times, like nobody would be grounded enough to, because again, this is a part of the earthly experience, grounded enough to be making sure they growing the food or making sure they building the houses or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, you have a root chakra to your crown. Root chakra is about food, shelter, taking care of yourself, and being at peace in your human experience, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there's no coincidence, that that's a part of being healthy in our experience, It's like having that connection from the root to, again, no coincidence that, from a tree, if a tree root's not strongly there, that tree could topple over. If a mountain didn't have that strong foundation, it wouldn't be able to go so high, And that's one of the things I had to go back into realization with, is realizing, like, the importance of being grounded fully, you know what I'm saying? Because I was better, like my toes was trying to grip onto the ground while my crown was spinning like a helicopter trying to pull me up in the air. So you definitely want to, have that awareness. Good grounding crystals, hematite. Hematite, one of the best ones, because you could feel the heaviness of it. You know what I'm saying? So it really helps to create a grounding energy. So I would say hematite. Black kyanite is one. Aragonite is one. But I tend to just go to the crystals that's more solid in their groundedness. Again, I would just say hematite. Hematite is one of the best ones. Onyx. There's some other ones that put like this, because, I could tell you, like, all the grounding crystals, because mostly all black crystals are grounding crystals, but there are some that I work with that I know for a fact that's just, like, really, like, keep you, like, hold you down like balloon strings, you know what I'm saying, so you don't float away. But, yeah, I would say hematite. That's the only one that really come up. Yeah. Green Inferno. The Green Inferno was another limited series. Again, just like the War of the Realms broadcast, they put that shit to see where everybody was at. So they put this up and then take it off. There was also a little cartoon that I had made a video about that was on Netflix. And I think it was a limited series as well, or just a limited, yeah, it was a series. It was a little cartoon. and these three people was like the cartoon characters was in a little simulation, and they didn't realize it to the end, you know. Again, you know, everything is coming up to the forefront. Everything's out in the open. Hey, made of petrified wood pendant. Yeah, petrified wood is another good little grounding one too. Great for a connection with the ancestors too. Yeah. What's up, Miss Jazz? Grounding kind of like tea. So grounding kind of like tea. I don't get what you're saying right there. But yeah, that's the whole experience. Yeah, matter of fact, because I've been, just got me this piece of Moldavite again. So I've been making sure I'm grounded, you know, as well. And then it's my second time around, so, you know, I'm more well seasoned in my, in my pad, dealing with it right now. You're not familiar with crystals? Babe Bella, I got a playlist on my YouTube channel called Crystal Vibrations. If you just vibe to YouTube videos like that, and again, as I say that, you know, I'm gonna speak on them from sometimes research, sometimes my own inner gnosis, and at the end of the day, you gotta develop, you know, your inner gnosis about it as well, like actually working with the crystals to see if what, you know, information people bring up is really real, you know. But yeah, it's called Crystal Vibrations. And I got a 2 hour, it's like a 2 hour and something live video where I just kind of go in on all the different aspects of crystals, you know, but definitely got multiple videos on that playlist, you know. All right, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Like the warm, confident feeling. Yep. Moldavite for no, man. I bought this little piece, matter of fact, from Coyote Moon, but nah. If I had it on deck, it would be broadcasted ASAP. Like I'd be like, bro, got the Moldavites on deck, you know. But like on some other shit though, if you like you know, if you don't have none by you, Biggs, you could I could let you know the price of it, and you could send me the funds, and I could grab one for you, you know. But they're not like crystal form, like they're like on a pendant, so like they're not like, which I mean you could still not put it on a pendant and still hold it in your hand, but it got like the little pendant thing attached to it or whatever, and it's on sterling silver, which is great for connecting with the moon energy. Oh. Eating healthy.
It's a choice. I'm not doing it for any reason.
Eating healthy. Yup, eating healthy is a choice. As a matter of fact, go check out my queen page, Love Language, LUV dot. I got the dot. Language. Language. That's how you spell it. LUV language. LUV dot language. And that's a YouTube channel too. But all right, word, yep. Let's pull up, bro. Get that good Moldavite. Matter of fact, because that's what I was gonna make a little video about like how I'm combining seraphonite with moldavite, and how moldavite is a combination of like Venus. Like if Venus got together with Pluto and you sprinkled a little Saturn on there, you know, that's the energy of it. Like, you know, it's like that love, heart chakra to the highest extent. You know, hence why the synchronization and the quote-unquote manifestation are lining up with our destiny comes up a lot. And then Pluto with the deep transformation, it allows for the transformation process also to come about quickly. That's why I could get uncomfortable, because it could be like pushing us, like, you know, because that's almost like how my, I ain't gonna say that's how, that's part of the reason of how like all of my business just kind of, you know, because again, crystals are medicinal tools, you know what I'm saying, that we could use. And moldavite definitely was a strong medicinal tool at, you know, me dealing with my YouTube channel and doing jewelry and all the other things that I've been tapping into, and just moving it along fast, because it just came overnight, really though. I think that's why sometimes my destiny allowed for me like to slow me down, because again, I got like 1,500 videos. I used to have 2 or 3 videos for y'all almost every day, you know, while still being pretty grounded, because I was working at the time too, and had Jacory, that's a good question, bro, because since I'm out here, I ain't never put my hands on no sea moss in Baton Rouge yet. Matter of fact, you actually gonna make me write that down to check into that. Cause yeah, sea moss is another, that's, matter of fact, I forgot the little thing, 108 other body's nutrients, like, you know, so like almost all the nutrients and all the minerals and nutrients that's needed in the body, like sea moss has like 108 of it or something like that. Don't quote me, boy, cause I ain't said shit that part. But yeah, pay-per-view P, what's up? Crazy about Angel, crazy about the angles of light. I got a plug on the sea moss. I might have to connect with you then, bro. Matter of fact, Mr. Jacory, if you're still in here, you might want to message Mr. Biggs, man. We all family, man. We all family. At least for those who, you know, we resonate with. But yeah, man. The winter time. Matter of fact, that's why I got a video where I'm gonna do 2, because I might as well make a playlist for that, because I got at least 2 videos so far now about like connecting with the animals and like what's the symbols for animals, because I had a spider crawling on me the other day, and then when he got off of me and went into the grass, and the next thing you know, I picked up my tablet. I don't know if it's the same one, but then another one's walking on my tablet, you know, and that got some energy behind that as well. I forgot what made me say that. Something which I said that made me say that. It was something I was gonna bring up. Oh, the winter time and like being patient, because the spider, you know, it diligently weaves that web of destiny, and then it kind of, you know, has that patience for, you know, something to come into that web, you know. But that's a part of what we're doing. It doesn't mean you're completely inactive, like truly hibernating, like you're about to sleep from here until January like a bear, because obviously we would be doing that if it was meant for us to be like that. But, you know, again, this ain't no fucking New Year, as much as the calendar may tell you that. You know, start off no New Year in the wintertime. In spring. And even as I'm saying that, hey, you don't even have to, your New Year could be whenever you make it, if it resonates with you. You know, shit, your New Year could be in the middle of summertime. Your new year could pop off and fall. What is a year anyway? But that's a whole different little thing. But it all has its resonance because it's created for a reason. Matter of fact, speaking of Devic Kingdom, that Seraphonite great for that connection too. Mostly all green crystals, but one of the best ones is moss agate. Moss agate and petrified wood. Have your piece of moss agate and petrified wood, and it feel like you're tripping without the mushrooms. Matter of fact, and that's great crystals to trip with. I'm not familiar with what a coyote mean. Love, joy, peace. Matter of fact, don't forget y'all, I got the leopard skin jasper bracelets. They help to connect with your animal totem. I did a video on that in Petalite and how it helped to connect with that animal guide within us, Yeah, I got the leopard skin jasper joints with the jet and the graphic feldspar. Then I also still got some moss agate, graphic feldspar, and palm tree wood. And then I still got some of the Z Tibetan agate with the amethyst and amethyst, graphic feldspar, and the ebony wood, So yeah. Yeah, because matter of fact, everything, is constantly speaking to us. That's not a moment that goes by where our reality is not, expressing the energy of source. Not only the source within us, like projecting outwardly, but also, speaking back to us, giving us clues of what we may not be catching, in our like meditations or, with our inner guidance system. Some things we may be blocked from seeing due to having a certain block, like you may have something against listening to black people or listening to white people. Let's use both examples, or anybody that looks a certain way. If you feel some kind of way like that, then then your answer would have to come through a different avenue, than whatever color person you dislike. Or if you dislike getting signs from a woman or a man, vice versa, like it depends on like certain little blocks we got in us, and that's how information comes to us. Because some things sneakily, like on a subtle level, we be kind of running away from going to the truth inside ourselves about. So it like has to come up in the form of somebody outside of y'all, some situation playing out outside of you. Nayahana, what's up? D Sam, what's up? Yeah, the coyote. I know the coyote would. First thing that just come up to me is just not like being nocturnal, so probably dealing with dark aspects, because that's a spider aspect too. I don't know if they travel in packs. It might be like a little vibe of embracing. I say like, well, no, ain't the terminology lone wolf and not lone coyote. So yeah, let me fall back on that one. But does it matter what kind of wood? Yeah, different woods carry a different vibration. Palm tree wood is great for resilience, amongst some other things. Matter of fact, there's a nice little list for that one I got. And then ebony tree wood promotes strength, creativity, and I want to say tapping into spirit, which I mean all wood does, but ebony wood definitely promotes it on a strong level. But Spirit Sensei, peace. Trickster, yeah, something's gonna come up to me too. A trickster archetype. I think more of the fox though, the sly fox. But that's basically it, y'all. I'm about to get me a little snack before this store closes. You heard me? You heard me? Yeah. I remember. I just say remember to right now we releasing dense traumas, affirm to ourselves like, hey, I want to see, all aspects of me, embracing all emotions from negative to positive, being fearless and courageous about facing all aspects of your being, because if you, again, diagnosis, the key word is gnosis, to know. You can't diagnose something if you don't acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? You got to acknowledge it in order to, so constantly, speak to your higher self, have that inner dialogue of like, hey, I want to be exposed to, what blockages and trauma that still needs to be healed, And then maybe you could line up with your significant other. Say hey, significant other.
Hi guys. What's up? I don't know what to say.
Yes,
What am I? Ooh. A cool thing that I'm dealing with right now in this very second, when I first walked into the store, was like, what do I resonate with? And not just picking certain things based off of what everybody else is doing around me. So during the holidays or the holy days, I've been like trying to relieve my rigidness.
She gonna end the video out, y'all.
He's gonna go get a snack, probably some chocolate or something. I've been trying to relieve my rigidness from being vegan, and I decided to not be vegan and just eat whatever I want. And it helped my mind, but it didn't really help my body so much. So today I just said, it doesn't matter how much it costs, and I just stood in front of certain things and saw if it resonated. If it felt good, I got it. And that was it. So that's just what I'm doing right now. It's just glossing over that with myself. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just like to talk sometimes, so. In another space and now, you guys, I will see you guys later. Oh, love language on YouTube. I know he said that, but I do tarot readings every week. So if you guys are into that kind of thing, check in for I call them energies of the week. And I just make a video once a week for that. But yeah, in another space and now, I'll see you guys later.